Today, we're tackling, the biggest story there is, human evolution. Our source is the story of us.
It's a huge topic. And it starts, maybe surprisingly for some, up in the trees.
Right, way back. Our ancestors basically living in the jungle canopy.
Mostly eating fruit, living life branch to branch, pure instinct driving survival.
That's a pretty different world. So what happened? What got us down onto solid ground?
Well, the big shift seems to be moving out onto the savanna and starting to walk upright.
Upright walking. That sounds like a major change.
Oh, it was massive.
Yeah.
Suddenly you can see further, over the grasses. Spot danger, maybe spot food.
And your hands are free, right?
Exactly. Free hands mean you can carry things, maybe start manipulating objects. We became explorers, in a way.
Exploring and innovating. Because the first tools weren't far behind, were they? Just a simple cracked stone, the source says.
Yeah, it sounds basic, but that cracked stone was revolutionary.
How so?
It gave consistent access to meat, to bone marrow, high energy food.
Ah, okay. So it wasn't just about finding food anymore, but getting better food more easily.
Precisely. And that extra energy, that protein and fat, it likely fueled, the growth of our brains.
Brain power literally fueled by a rock. Okay. So better tools, bigger brains. What's the next leap?
Fire. Mastering fire.
Ah, fire. Warmth, obviously. Protection from predators.
Yes, both of those. But maybe even more importantly, think about the social aspect.
Social. How do you mean?
Well, a fire creates a focal point, a place to gather. Maybe the first real, community hubs. People sharing warmth, sharing space.
Sharing stories, maybe.
Quite possibly. Fosters communication. It feels like a very human development, gathering around the flames.
Yeah, I can picture that. And speaking of human things, the source talks about abstract thought emerging, like seeing ourselves as individuals.
Right. Think about that handprint on a cave wall. It's more than just paint, isn't it? It's like saying, I was here. An identity marker.
An early selfie, almost.
Sort of. And alongside that, storytelling becomes crucial. Passing down knowledge, memories, traditions. We weren't just surviving anymore. We were expressing, remembering.
From expressing to planting. Agriculture seems like another massive shift. Why start farming?
It was totally transformative. Moving from just gathering wild grains to actively cultivating them, domesticating animals like, wolves eventually becoming dogs.
So a steady food supply.
A much more reliable one, yeah.
Yeah.
And that stability is key. It meant we didn't have to constantly move.
Permanent settlements.
Exactly. The first villages start to form. Life changes fundamentally when you stay in one place.
And when you settle down, you start building things, changing the landscape.
You got it.
Yeah.
Building structures, shaping the environment more. Then comes the wheel, settlements growing into, the first cities, often along rivers.
Makes sense. Waterways are crucial.
Absolutely. And then another huge leap, taking symbols and turning them into written language.
Writing. Wow, that changes everything again.
It really does. Knowledge isn't limited to memory or oral tradition anymore. It can be stored, passed down accurately across generations. It outlives the individual.
It's how we know this story, really.
In large part, yes. It connects everything, like the source says, from treetops to tablets, from sparks to space. It's all one continuous thread.
It's an incredible journey. That's the story of us, starting so simply and ending up here.
And it's crucial to remember, that story isn't finished. It's still being written, constantly evolving.
That's a great point. Which leads to a final thought for you, listening.
Considering all these pivotal moments, walking upright, tools, fire, art, farming, writing, what do you think? What might be the next big transformation